All righty. Do I have you, Adam?
Yes,
Fantastic. Well, thank you for joining us over here. We were just wrapping up the AMA over on the HODL's Telegram chat, and they were kind enough to jump over here to have an AMA on our chat for the benefit of our community and learning more about your brand there. Just for purposes of the transcription, just so that we can kind of cover all the bases. I'm Trevor, the head of business management over at Vulkania. Vulkania obviously deals with the data aggregation and the gamification of that data so that it appeals to users and it appeals to projects and advertisers and those that need that aggregation as a service to their business. And here today we have Adam from the HODL or HODL token, and we're hoping that you can kind of enlighten us as to what amazing things that you guys are working on. And so I think, other than just a general intro from you, I'd love to kind of get a good summary of what is HODL and what exactly does it do?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So I think at its most simple, what we're about is helping people access and generate passive income. And we started life as a passive income token. So it was a very simple concept, quite groundbreaking at the time, and I think it's kind of triggered a number of other projects to embrace this concept. But within every buy, sell, or transfer of the token, there's a tax, 10% tax, and we basically have bots that will liquefy the tokens that get accumulated in those tax and place them into a reward pool. We're a BSC token, Binance Smart Chain token, so our reward pool fills up with BNB or BSC. And basically, at its most basic, you go to the website. If you own a percentage of the token, which we all do, whether that's 0.1%, 1%, whatever it is, that is your eligibility to access the reward pool. So if I visit the website, connect my wallet, and I own 1% of the tokens, then I basically get to pick up 1% of them. So that's how it works, and we launched just over a year old. It's hard to put an exact figure on them, but we have tried, and we've distributed over $3 million of BNB since.
Incredible! Directly to holders, huh? That's fantastic.
Exactly. And you don't have to sell any tokens. That's just rewards for holding.
Right.
You still have the token you've bought. So that's how it works. But really, the big thing that's happened is that we've looked at more ways of supporting the reward pool and adding to our ecosystem. And that's a word that's really important to us. We're trying to create an ecosystem. So we now have a number of other parts to our package that bring revenue or bring utility or bring fun and games, including our decks, NFT, and more. So we're trying to create an entire ecosystem that gives you access to passive income through the simple notion of holding, which is the essence of our brand.
I love that. And just looking at how that tax works, especially on transfers, I think that's really interesting, because that just looking at your website, that you have a chunk of that tax reinforcing your liquidity. I mean, that's huge, right? That's how you're going to attract larger investors over time. No one's going to throw $100,000 into a token with a liquidity pool of 500,000, right? And so that's really cool that and forward thinking of you guys to be looking at, hey, we need a marketing pool. Hey, we need a liquidity to reinforce our LP. And then of course the reflections and the rewards, which is, hey, that keeps your holder satisfied. So I think that tax system that you guys have established is spot on, right? You guys understand not only the psychology of the average crypto investor, but also how projects are successful over a long period of time. So we're not looking just to get rich quick in this bull market. We're going to be around for many to come.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got people in our community that talk about the idea of giving their bag, their HODL to their children and their grandchildren. And that's really kind of what we're trying to achieve here. This is lifelong. I truly believe, and I know I'm going to be biased on this, and I think a lot of people that support me in the project, we've got one hell of a brand here. It's arguably the biggest word in crypto. But what I love about it from a branding perspective is just within 4 letters, it encapsulates what you need to do. You HODL this token, and that's how you reward it. Those 4 letters mean so much. And I think as well, I find it always quite funny that pretty much every project uses that word. So it's a really powerful brand, but it also has meaning. And it's designed to be there for the long term, which is why we're working very hard to build real depth within our ecosystem utility. Plus, do a number of things that pull in revenue. But yeah, our tax model is pretty groundbreaking. It was one of the first with the longest, highest paying reward token that's out there. So it's pretty cool. But the tax model is 10% on all types of transaction, buy, sells, transfers. 6% of that goes to the reward pool, 2% LP, 1% marketing, and 1% reflection. So not only do you get the rewards, you also get reflection.
Incredible, and I love that the idea of intergenerational crypto. When you say that, you usually think Bitcoin, right? But I love that you're actually looking forward that far in advance with your brand. And you keep saying ecosystem, and you guys aren't kidding. I mean, just right there, I love the heading on your website too. It's just like a strong roadmap, and sure as shit it is. You guys look like you have kind of fingers in all the different industries that make crypto attractive over a long period of time. And so kudos to you there. And I think with that, right, being able to have all these different ways to integrate HODL into these different market niches within crypto, I think that obviously translates to how your users can earn the token as well. So could you expand a little bit on that, on what kind of ways that your members and people that hold your coin, they can earn HODL, and is it exclusive to those that hold your token period, right? Do you have to hold it in order to participate in this ecosystem?
Yeah, so it's really expanding. We're trying to create as many ways as possible for people to engage our entire ecosystem and make money. So you have the core token, HODL. So if you hold that, you're going to get reflections, which is effectively 1% of every transaction, and you're able to access the reward pool. We recently added a new feature as well that allows you to stack your rewards. So even if you're a small investor from as little as $5, you'll be able to earn rewards, B&B rewards. So that's the core. That's kind of like our legacy. That's what we've always been, and that alone is pretty amazing. I think at all-time high when the project pumped, and it just became this sort of spiral that grew and then drew people in because it was growing, which caused it to grow further. And we're number one on CMC. I believe we can achieve that again, but this time we're going to be more ready because we have added caps to our pool. So it will fill up the pool. It will pay out that pool, but it will also reserve additional B&B for stability, rather than what happened previously. We just basically gave out all the B&B every 24 hours. Incredible. We had people earning 3 B&B a day. So that's the core. If you hold HODL, you'll get that. But we also have our DEX, so you can go on to hodlx.exchange and you can stake your HODL, and with that you can either earn our reward token, a bit like how PancakeSwap have Cake. So you can stake HODL and earn HODLX. You've also got our NFT range. So we move those to the Binance Smart Chain, the HODL hands, which is really nice, really attractive art. It's the form of a clenched fist that's kind of accessorized. But that money that we generate from that goes to our project. We have a split, and we even built a bot so you can see how that money is going to be distributed to the holders in the project. So that's another kind of revenue source. But we've also added that you can stake them. And then our reward token, you can stake that and earn HODL. So there's I think I was talking to Yield Farmer Ken, who's our CFO and CCO, and there's about 13 different ways you can make money with our project in our ecosystem.
Wow. And being able to control, I mean, it's a lot to take in, but it makes perfect sense. And allowing, because I think that's a big part of the buy sell decision for a lot of people, is that can they make their money work harder somewhere else, right? And so if they're able to passively allow their money to make it across 13 different attributes in the crypto industry, I think that makes the hold decision quite a bit easier. Because when you're focused on a single niche, well, then you might end up starting to have some doubts about how that niche is going to do well over 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And so having so many different ways to earn, I think that is a key to future success. I think that's a great segue into what you guys are working on recently. Because like I mentioned before, your roadmap it looks strong as hell. And so you mentioned something during your AMA. That was a nice little piece of information that you dropped on everybody. So if you do it again here, like make sure everyone knows. But what else have you been working on, and what's on the in the immediate future that you can tease us with?
Yeah, so we've literally it kind of coincided with the timing of this AMA, so we thought we'd share an update because it's something that the community knows that we're working on. But we're setting up our second pool. So at the moment, you can take your HODL hand NFTs and stake them to earn HODL X, which is the reward token. However, we're just about to put live the next pool you can earn tokens in by staking our NFT, and that's the stake HODL hands and earn HODL. So you've now got two options now. If you're holding our NFTs, you can stake them to earn our native token, or you can stake them to earn our reward token, or you can move them around and do a bit of both. And that's the beauty of it, really, because you could enter our ecosystem and purchase HODL, and you could earn BNB on that. You can reinvest your rewards and get more HODL, and that actually is tax free. And you can earn reflections. You can take those tokens and you can earn HODL X. You can take that HODL X and you can earn HODL. You can, there's so many options that you can kind of go on to compound. But the function of our NFTs is that they just enhance the whole experience. So at the moment, particularly in these bearish conditions, we're making it so that you can earn not only our reward token, but our primary token, which I think we can 1000x it if that token, if we can pull everything together as we're trying to. So what an opportunity to make ROI. But not only that, the next stage on our sort of NFT roadmap is that you'll be able to access features by holding the NFTs. So we're going to build an auto compounding feature for our decks. So if you hold our NFTs, you'll be able to activate auto compounding.
Nice.
We've built some free to play games, and then we're going to do it. So if you hold the NFTs, you'll be able to access activate play to earn features on those games. And another thing that we're planning to do is to integrate our NFTs into a poker game that we're building. So we're building a poker game called Texas Hold'em, as you'd expect. Texas Hold'em. It has to be done, so with our brand, but it's going to be an amazing poker game. But we want it so that if you hold the NFTs, it also enhances your experience of the poker. So, and actually, I mentioned it on the last AMA, but we're also setting up something that I haven't heard of. I'm sure it will exist out there somewhere, but we're setting up another.
You're the first, I'm sure of it.
Well, we'll see on this one. So we're setting up another pool where you can stake HODL X and earn NFTs. So again, it's like another option.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's that genuinely, I've not seen another project do it, but I'm not going to say that I've looked at every other project. So, but yeah, the idea is it's exclusive to our reward token. You earn that reward token, and you can stake that reward token. You can earn our NFTs, all these other benefits.
That is incredible. You guys are really living up to your name there. That's for sure. If you make it so damn attractive that selling just makes absolutely no sense, well, then what else are you gonna do? You're gonna hold on. You're gonna buy more, right? And so that's great.
Yeah, and the reason I kind of picked up on you guys is that we've got a pretty good eye for branding and UI and UX. Hopefully that comes across with things like our website and our brand and how we put information out. So, and we saw that in your product, and that's the other side of it. Not only do we want to give all these options, we want it to be attractive to the eye and engaging and fun and gratifying. So we're going to keep building, but we kind of are getting to a point now where we have this all-encompassing multi-option passive income ecosystem, and then we're going to add some really nice bells and whistles to how it looks and feels and operates, so that you can just run around it, compounding your investments and making money in any number of ways. The goal is to get to a point where people are kind of like thinking, well, what option do I take? We want people in the community, as they're starting to say, shall I buy more NFTs, or shall I buy more HODL X, or shall I buy more HODL? That's the goal, really, is that we're providing like a menu of options that just
Right.
allows us to kind of move around and play within our sort of money making playground.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I definitely understand that. It makes perfect sense. I think, I mean, is there anything in the future plans that isn't listed on the roadmap? Because it sounds so expansive to address, and it makes perfect sense. And I think, as you guys move forward, is there anything else that you guys are thinking about that you guys haven't explicitly listed on the roadmap?
Yeah, I mean, there's a massive project that we're planning in the future where we'll actually create a dedicated app that shows all of your passive income earnings by day, week, month, and has access to all our different tools and features. It'll be a progressive web app, so anyone can access it. It will also have a fiat on-ramp and a fiat off-ramp, both for purchasing the token, selling the token, and also for your reward. The idea with that as well is that you'll be able to send your rewards a card that allows you to spend those rewards in the real world. So that's a massive part of our future plan. But there's something that we looked at recently that isn't in our roadmap that I think we are going to do, though, which is basically build arbitrage bot technology, so that as we list on multiple locations and have all these different liquidity pools around, we're able to run our arbitrage bots, which will serve two purposes. Firstly, the profits from arbitrage will go to the holders. They will go to the reward pool. And secondly, it will stabilize our price. So one of the really important things is that when you're listed on a platform like CoinMarketCap, and when we trended on that platform, we saw $50 million of volume in one weekend. It's really important that you understand that the way they calculate your price is like an aggregate of all the different exchanges you're listed on. So if you have that kind of technology, you can also, as one exchange, whether it's PancakeSwap, Pump, you can stabilize your price across all these different exchanges, which will ensure that as the project grows, your price follows a fairly linear path in that growth. So when we start to trend, or when one platform starts to grow, it can bring up the other exchanges as well, which will help us trend on some of these key platforms. Because as you can imagine, if as previously, when we were number one on CMC, it's very easy for people to log on to that platform and see a brand like ours and think, oh, that sounds good, I'm going to invest into that, compared to most of the stuff that's out there. So that's a really big part of our play, is that through arbitrage technology, we can both generate profits for our holders and reward pool, but it will also help price stability across the different exchanges we're listed on for when we go on a march and hopefully trend again on CoinMarket. So that's something
Brilliant. Yeah, I like that a lot. It's even something that we struggle with sometimes, where one of our low liquidity exchanges makes it look like our price has moved 50% up or down, right? And only a couple $100 move. So I mean, and that's just the way that it is when you're getting started. So I love that idea of having a bot to help stabilize that.
Yeah, there's that, and it's a genuine issue, genuine challenge for projects of a certain size as they're growing. As you say, you can get these misleading spikes one way or the other because of how they calculate those prices. So it would help stabilize that. But the other side of it is that there's a lot of people that make money on arbitrage, which is fine. That's absolutely no issue with that. But why can't we make that money for our entire community rather than it being a handful of individuals? So that's really the thinking, is that they're the two primary benefits: more money for our community and the reward pool, plus stability within our price.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Well, fantastic. I mean, thank you for that detailed answer. I mean, I'm starting to feel the FOMO. Honestly, it makes perfect sense, especially in a market like this, where being able to keep your money working, and that's the key. That's the key to staying alive over the long period of time. And so having all these options to keep passively earning the income, that's huge. And so I guess now we'll move to the AMA's portion of this. And so if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in this voice chat, or text them in the channel. Either way, and we'll be able to address those.
Hi. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah, I didn't hear you mention about anti-whale mechanism and flip. the flip or the flip feature. Can you talk a little more on that, please?
Yeah, so the anti-whale mechanism is simply a restriction on the quantity of tokens sell per address every 24 hours, and that's an adjustable variable. So currently that's at 250 billion tokens, but it can be, and our plan is as the project grows, we'll increase that to 350, 500, and so on, when we feel it's in the interests of the majority to do so. So that's the anti-whale, effectively a restriction on a big dump every 24 hours, and we put that at the front, of the product, not so it's transparent, but also it ties in with what we're about. We're not a coin that we want people to come in on for an afternoon and swing trade on. It's about holding, so it ties in with that. The other one you mentioned, the anti-flip tax, it's a unique proposition which tried, and I say tried because we're having a bit of a battle with it, and we may have to basically retire it. So I'm telling you as we're kind of investigating. But basically, how that works is again in line with our brand and what we're about, which is to hodl and hold on to your investment. The anti-flip tax applies a little more tax within different periods of time from first acquiring and selling the token. So if you acquire and sell HODL within 24 hours, you pay the standard 10% tax plus an additional 15%. If you sell within a week, I think that drops to something like 10%. In 60 days, it's more like 7.5%. If it's in 90 days, it's something like 5%. Apologies if I've got those numbers slightly wrong, this from memory, but that's effectively the concept. In line with how long you're holding for, if you're only holding for a short period of time, you pay a little bit more tax, and all of those taxes go to the reward pool. The reason we're having an issue with that is because we also, have the DEX, and people are creating LP. And what we're struggling with at the moment is to delineate between LP creation and sale, because it runs the same kind of function. So we're battling with that feature at the moment, trying to find a solution. So we're going to have to kind of see if we can crack that. If so, we'll keep the feature. If we can't, we'll have to remove that, which is probably actually lends itself to the kind of whole notion of innovation and coming up with new ideas.
Also, you have to tell about the BNB stacking for the rewards for smaller investors.
Yeah. So that one Ship has mentioned there, for example, is something that we built recently, and we're building a lot of innovation with the contract. What's really cool is that we can actually do that because we're a proxy contract. So our primary contract will effectively look up an implementation address which contains the functionality of our contract, and we're able to change that implementation address. In other words, we're able to change some of the functionality of our contract. That's quite unique in crypto. What it does mean, though, is that we can come up with ideas and features like the anti-flip and try it and see if we can come up with something that adds value to the project, which often a project can't do, which I find bizarre because we're in the tech space, fast-moving tech space. You have to innovate and develop it. So the reward stacking that Ship has mentioned is basically a solution to the problem of rewards for smaller investors. People that want to put in, say, $10, $20, $30 will earn rewards, but often their reward earnings are less than what they're paying in gas fees, because it's the BSC network, gas fees are really low. At around 80 cents, I believe. So what we did is we came up with this feature whereby effectively you can activate reward stacking when you go to the claim page, and you can stack your rewards up to, I believe the maximum is 3 years and 10 months, and it costs just 80 cents to activate that feature. And then you pay the normal 80 cents at the end when you're ready to claim your reward to draw down those rewards. So you could literally invest a couple of dollars and stack for a long period of time and be collecting rewards and covering the gas fee. So those sorts of things are massive to our investor base, but wouldn't be possible if we couldn't iterate and develop our contract. So yeah, couple more key elements.
Very cool. Any other questions that we wanted our guests to address today? All right. Well, thank you, Adam. Thank you very much for coming today and letting us know about it. And thanks for, again, hosting us over on your channel. I think today was a great success, and we learned a lot about each other's projects. And I look forward to doing more cross promotions with you guys and integrating further into the ecosystems that you guys are developing.
Great stuff. Thank you. And likewise, let's see what we can do. And we're definitely going to try and get as many of our community as possible into the game and see if we can get into that top 10 for HODL on the ranking. So yeah, thanks for everything.
Definitely make that noise. We look forward to it.
Thank you.
All right, Adam. You guys take care.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Okay.
Bye bye.